Chelsea and Carity on News Channel 13 at 5 o'clock. I'm Heather Skold.
And I'm Bart Bedsole. Tonight, turmoil at the top within the Pueblo Police Department. 13 Investigates has learned the new leader of the department was under investigation just weeks before he was appointed by the mayor.
The investigation is related to complaints filed by Pueblo police officers alleging racial discrimination, intimidation, and unfairness by acting Chief Stephen Noller. Chief investigative reporter Chelsea Brentzel and 13 Investigates Dan Beatty were the first to break this story. They are both live outside the Pueblo Police Department.
We begin with Dan to tell us what the acting chief is saying tonight. Dan?
Heather, Bart, acting police chief Stephen Noller tells 13 Investigates he's made mistakes in the past, but he also says he has a job to do. Several current and former Pueblo police officers tell 13 Investigates as well that the new boss, he leads by fear. And they say they have a lot to be afraid of in this transition. 13 Investigates obtained this document, an executive summary of a 110-page report of an investigation into Pueblo Police Department's newly appointed acting police chief. The investigation was conducted by a law firm based out of Denver and completed April 2nd. According to that summary, 10 complaints were filed by Pueblo police officers against Chief Deputy Stephen Chris Noller from 2018 to 2020. Allegations of intimidation, bullying, and discrimination based on race and ethnicity. Investigators did not find any civil rights violations or conduct resulting in adverse employment action, but the law firm did find Noller was in violation of the employee handbook. The report called Noller's leadership style, quote, at a minimum divisive. The report says employees they interviewed consistently brought up Noller's temper. 13 Investigates requested the full 110-page report of that investigation, but were denied access. The city of Pueblo cited it was not in the public's interest and would discourage future concerns being brought forward by employees. Mayor Nick Gradisar appointed Noller to acting chief as Chief Troy Davenport retires on Friday. In a statement to 13 Investigates, the mayor called the allegations of discrimination and bullying to be baseless and points to Noller's strong track record of exemplary performance. 13 Investigates reached out to acting Chief Noller for an interview, but he declined. The 25-year department veteran did provide a statement saying, in part, these complaints began in the past 3 years. I absolutely acknowledge that I have made mistakes as a leader and I own those mistakes. I wish I could go back in time and do things differently, but I cannot. Instead, I understand I am responsible for my actions and I have an obligation to both the officers who work in our department and the citizens of Pueblo to continue to grow as a leader. It goes on to say, quote, I am in a position where our community and our organization expects me to hold officers accountable at times. Back in 2019, Noller was under investigation for many of the same allegations. It's not understood whether or not Noller has been reprimanded for the investigation in 2019 or 2021. What we do know is what we've obtained through records request. According to performance evaluations, Noller, when it came to communicating with coworkers, either met or exceeded every expectation that the department had. Reporting in Pueblo, Dan Beatty, 13 Investigates.
All right, Dan, thank you. The Pueblo mayor says the city spent at least $14,000 taxpayer dollars for the Noller investigation, which he says was not a secret.
But the first time many of the council members learned of this investigation was from 13 Investigates earlier this week. Chief investigative reporter Chelsea Brentzel is also live in Pueblo with how council members and the mayor are responding tonight. Chelsea.
All 7 Pueblo City Council members say the mayor did not inform them of the external investigation he launched into the new acting police chief's conduct. The mayor tells us he isn't required to do so, and the personnel investigation is not for the council nor the public.
First time that I've seen any of the information when it was sent to me by email through your news station.
Pueblo City Council members tell 13 Investigates Mayor Nick Gradisar has full discretion over who is appointed acting police chief. But council members say the mayor never came to them to authorize the $14,000 payment to the law firm that conducted the investigation into the acting chief. However, it's unclear if the mayor is required to do so under Pueblo City law.
Charter clearly states that the mayor's office has total control over personnel. There's no reason for him to share any internal investigations with City Council.
Councilwoman Lori Winter believes the mayor should have been more transparent based on the discrimination and intimidation complaints filed against the new acting chief.
Communication is key on what's going on in the city, from the Parks Department all the way up to who is going to be the next police chief. I mean, we need to know what's going on.
The mayor says he balanced the findings of the investigation with the review of Knoller's 25-year law enforcement career and exemplary performance when making the decision to name Knoller acting police chief. For now, Winter tells 13 Investigates her concerns are with the officers who filed complaints and how the department will operate under Knoller.
It's very unsettling. Whenever you have a leader that's divisive, nothing works. You have to work as a team.
It's unclear when the city plans to start its official search for a full-time police chief. Council members tell 13 Investigates they will vote on the candidate the mayor puts forth when the time comes. Reporting live in Pueblo, Chelsea Brentzel, 13 Investigates.
Chelsea, thanks. The NFL